My name is Jonathan Gillum.
And this is The Experts.
There we go. Thank you, Jim. So I've got, as always, I just got started with this thing again, and we got the on-air button going, and that's why nobody could hear me. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do the Friday Night Toast. Yeah, well, we got it figured out there, didn't we? It was the old on-air, off-air button that got me. I always go through my steps now, and that was the one step that I left out. So I need a little pilot's checklist right in front of me. I kind of have it right here, but I thought I had it all tonight without looking at it. So I'm up. You can hear me now. And I would have caught what you guys were saying earlier, but I was trying to move my iPad over here so I could actually read all these comments at the same time. So here's what I'm going to do. So let me turn on Instagram here for a second. And I want to fix it to where, let's see here. I don't know. This whole thing is kind of weird. Instagram is weird. Let's see here. We're going to go live. And now I'm hoping that it's going to be broadcasting on the side like, I'm just going to put it straight up and down. Let's see here. Stand by, folks. Let me fix my little Instagram thing. We're just going to do the Friday Night Toast. I'm going to talk a little bit about all the different shows that I did this week. And I thought that would be a good way to end the week, to sum up all the stuff that happened. And I think that might hold right there. So let's just start this live video. Hold on. This is going to be only the second time I've ever done it now. So we're live on Instagram. Hello on Instagram. I don't know if we're going to have anybody watch on Instagram. It's kind of like on YouTube. We just never actually know who's going to be tuning in on these social media things. I do know that Facebook, that's where I get the main amount of people that are checking in and having a good dialogue. It looks like on Twitter, we're having some good stuff here. We adapted, we adjusted, and we overcame. I know that we're going to have trolls on here if I stay on for very long, because I must have inflamed the troll community that belongs to the communist group and the communists all across this country, because of the different shows that I did this weekend, including the Will Cow Majority. I did that Wednesday and Friday. And then on Thursday, I hosted the Sean Hannity radio show. Now, I want to start out by just clearing something up real quick before we go to the Friday Night Toast. First off, if you don't have a cold beverage, go get one. We'll give you a second to get that. If you are a snowflake, you might want to get a little cup of coffee so you can sit in your pajamas and sip it like that, you little fruitcakes. But let me just go over something that really did trigger quite a few people over the past couple days because of something I said on Sean Hannity. I went over it again on Will Cow Majority, but it's nothing that I have not said before. It's just that they love, Mother Jones and Mediaite. They love, and the Huffington Post, they love to listen to the Sean Hannity radio show and then make a lot out of nothing. That's what they do. That's what they do. And the point that I had brought up, which everybody that watches this show has heard me say this before, is that the whole premise this week was about the reality of the Communist Party in the United States, where they came from, how they secreted themselves into this country, what different groups they're associated with. And man, it was incredible. We had some great guests, several doctors that were on. We had David Horowitz, just some amazing people talking about all this stuff with the real insight, not biased, not neo-Nazi for all the leftists. There were no neo-Nazis on the shows of any kind. They were people who were educated and understanding the reality of what's going on in this world, and particularly in this country. And they brought the truth in stringing together Black Lives Matter, Antifa, by all means necessary, the Muslim Brotherhood, and overall the thing that strings all those people together is communism. And so I was outraged, personally outraged, when Charlottesville happened for two reasons. One, because I saw videos of people saying that they went down there because they were angry about the statue being removed, and they were there to protest the statue, and then they had all these speeches afterwards saying online. I had people take them down off my the Friends of Jonathan T. Gilliam page. I don't let anybody put anything on my page except for me, my public page. But the Friends page, they had put several videos from one particular group saying that they weren't neo-Nazi. Then they even had some people with dark skin that were with them and stuff. But they failed to walk away from the protests when the neo-Nazis showed up. Nothing is that important for you to stay there and associate yourself with them. You either get them to leave and tell the police they're not here, they're not a part of our protest, and we have a permit for this, we don't want those neo-Nazis here, or you're going to be associated with neo-Nazis. That's not judgment from me. That is the whole, the old premise of if you, how does it go? It is what it is, or perception is reality. You hang out with those people, it's no different than if you get in a car and everybody in the car is stone cold sober, but one person smells like pot, and because they've been smoking pot, and you get pulled over by the cops because you didn't use your turn signal. They're going to pull everybody out of that car because you let that one knucklehead hang out. They're going to assume that everybody smoked pot. And so they're going to pull you out and they're going to question you. Well, that's the way it works. That's the way it happens. And if you associate yourself with white supremacists, well, you're an idiot. And lo and behold, when you tell the truth, so I was outraged about that. But people would actually go there and then have the nerve to come out and say, well, we weren't protesting with them because we're not neo-Nazis. Well, you were there. You didn't make them leave. You didn't walk away from it and say, we'll protest another day when they're not there. You didn't do that. So therefore, you're linked to them now. And I don't want anything to do with you. On the other hand, the other thing that outraged me was the fact that the media jumped on this bandwagon because this girl got killed by a neo-Nazi. Stupidest attack I've ever seen, if that's what he was doing, that he just runs a car into a bunch of people and does he think he's going to get away? Was he wanting to be a martyr? The guy's an idiot. He sounded like he has mental problems all over the place, but regardless, he was attracted to white supremacy, and he did this deadly, horrific, terrible act in killing this girl. However, and I said this on Hannity's show, I'm going to say it again right now. I said it on Will Cow's today, and I've said it many, many times before. If you show up and you march with a communist group, and you put yourself in the midst of these communists who have bats and masks and who are yelling at people and chanting communist chants and telling people that they, whether they did it there or not, they do it all over the place, that they want no more USA. And you put yourself in there, and on top of that, online, on your Facebook page, you're putting support messages for Antifa, a communist group, and then you go out and you march with them. Well, there's no membership card that goes with being with Antifa. There's no membership card that says you do or do not vote or believe with the communists. You don't have to. You can be a conservative and not have to, or a liberal. There's no card. It's the way you identify with your ideology and your morals and ethics. It's the same thing with communism. And for this girl who got killed in Charlottesville, it's a valuable lesson that should not be missed. And the lesson is this: you go and you march with bad people and something bad happens, it is your fault. It's called personal responsibility. Just like I said a second ago about the knuckleheads who marched with, and they didn't get rid of the white supremacists, and they say we had nothing to do with them. Well, you did. You marched with them. You didn't make them leave, and you didn't leave yourself. You're now identified with them. This girl goes out. She makes the conscious choice to go out there for whatever reason. She was going out there. People are trying to make her sound like a martyr and that she's innocent. But when I looked at her page and I saw all this stuff about Antifa and stuff like that people were showing me, I didn't actually go to her Facebook page, but I saw this stuff. Right off the bat, people were bringing this up. The fact is, even if the Facebook page stuff didn't exist, and this girl goes out and marches with a group of people that are covered in masks, that have bats, that don't have a permit, and they're out there pushing a communist agenda, even if she showed up there for the right reasons, she's still marching with them. And you have to be smart enough. I don't care if you're there in support of the statues or if you're there in support of people not being judged for their color of skin or whatever. I don't care. If you're there for the right reasons, but you're standing with the wrong people and you end up dying because of it, you made a bad personal decision. A bad personal decision that cost you your life. That's not my fault. That's not, I'm not placing judgment on her. From my opinion, she brought it on herself. And the point I was trying to make through all this is two things. The media only covers one side of this story because they don't want the people who do their dirty work at the protests, who started the fight with Trump, who go to protests for Trump supporters, they start the fights, who go when somebody tries to speak somewhere that's a conservative and they go up and they beat people up. And they do they take wine bottles and hit people in the head or put M80s in there. That's an improvised explosive device. They throw it in the middle of a crowd, try to put glass shrapnel on people. They hit people with bricks in the head. These people are doing the dirty work of the propaganda machine that is owned by the mainstream media and controlled by money men like Soros and other people that we have not been able to identify yet. They are all part of the Communist Party, the communist ideology. And when a person shows up and marches with them, that is a bad choice on their part. And this is a lesson that America should realize. The media are liars. The media is a bunch of people who are not working for journalism's sake, just like this fruitcake that wrote this story today about what I'm trying to tell you right now from the Huffington Post, where she cuts and pastes little bitty things that I said to make it sound like I'm some kind of a alt-right person. I don't even know what that is, but I'll tell you, I'm not a part of it. I am a free-thinking, free-born American, and I believe everybody has the right to free speech, but I believe that when you step into the world of action from free speech, you are no longer protected by the First Amendment, and if you do it with people that have hate in their heart and hate this country and hate other people based on the color of their skin, and you stand there and you don't separate yourself and you get killed, it's on you. Period. The media is not going to report that. And when they don't report that, they are in fact lying to the American people, not giving them the full truth. And number two, they're doing a disservice to all the people out there that need to realize when you make bad decisions and you don't use good judgment, it can cost you your life. Now, I would hope that doesn't make me or anybody else a white supremacist or a hate monger. And yes, this girl's dead. And her legacy should be she made a bad decision. And she was killed by a dirtbag who also, throughout his life, had made bad decisions. Not my place to judge either one of these people. but to simply state the facts. Two people who made bad decisions in their lives met up in one place in time and space, and she died, and he's going to be in jail or dead. The lesson is, don't mess around with this tomfoolery. Don't get involved with these hate groups. Have dialogue. Do what we're doing here, and stand together with good, free-thinking, civilized individuals who are trying to save this country. Stand with those people. Don't play the political games. Don't buy into the Republican and Democratic establishment maneuvers to try to get you to hate one another. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into these snowflakes on Twitter that just come out there and want to attack for no reason because you're offending them because they're communists. And if they say, then all the time I say, okay, you're a communist. No, I'm not a communist. Well, if you're backing a communist, then you're a communist. If you believe in a communist ideology, you're a communist. You want to downgrade it to socialism? Socialism is the end product of communism. But I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say here is, I'm not sorry for what I said on Hannity's show. I'm not sorry for what I said on Wilcox's show. I'm not sorry for what I said on here 1,000 times. Because what I'm preaching, folks, is the truth. And the truth is, you screw up and you put yourself in the midst of bad people and something happens to you, that's on you. And when the media doesn't report the full truth and politicians jump on the bandwagon, just like the Republicans did, just like the Democrats did, and they don't point out the reality of all the people that were there, I see two things. I see a lie because they're omitting truth, and I see people that I have to question why, what's your motivation that you won't admit that those communists were there. Those people are not freedom fighters, folks. We are freedom fighters. I'm not apologizing for the truth. Don't worry about that. I grew up poor. If I go out poor, whatever. But I've lived a life, and this is what's funny about the majority of these idiots on Twitter who like to threaten me and say that I should be dead or whatever. First off, you don't scare me. My legacy is set in stone. If I died tonight, I'm fine. I've lived a life full of service and done things and looked inside my soul to a point that most human beings will never do. I've pulled back the blanket of fear that most human beings have when they look inside their soul, and they quickly cover it up and say, I don't want to go there. It hurts too bad. The pain is too much. It's scary to realize I may fail. And if I fail, it's going to be based upon the fact that I just quit. I faced that, and I continue to go forward and succeed. I failed. I kept trying. I succeeded. But the point is, if I die today, I've lived a pretty amazing life based on the right decisions, some wrong decisions, many failures, probably more failures than I've had achievements by far. I've failed many times. For everything that I've done that's pretty big in this world, I've failed at least 3 times. Because I'm not the smartest. I'm not the most athletic. I'm not the bravest. But you're not going to be able to find many people that have more of a aggressive attitude of don't quit. You're not going to find anybody more persistent than I am when there's something that I'm driven to do, and I don't quit. And that's how I succeeded. So these idiots that come on and Twitter, and they like to threaten, and they like to say all these big things, most of the time they don't even know the words that they're using, which I find hilarious. It doesn't do anything to me. For one, you don't put your picture up there. You don't put your name up there. You have some little egg or a picture of a kitty cat and then some weird name and like 3 followers, and you're going to come on there and threaten my life. I can guarantee you would never say that to me in my face, for one. And 2, let's say you take a shot at me. I'm not talking about with your hand because that would hurt your hand. I'm talking about with a gun or something, and you kill me. You know what? It doesn't matter to me. I've lived a full life, and if until the day I die, I will continue to serve and strive to be the best and do the best. I'm not worried about it. I'll go home when the Lord calls me, not when some snowflake decides they want a piece of me. That's for freaking sure. You see this right here, kiddos that are out there in Twitter land? You're not going to hurt me with this. Just doesn't hurt me. Go out and serve. Go out and do something. Go do something amazing. And I'm not talking about for ego's sake. Go change the world. Go help people. Go achieve in ways that you're not really built for. Maybe you're not the smartest, but you go out there and you invent something that no other mathematician could ever do. Then turn around and come to me and say, based on my training and experience and my life experiences, my knowledge, understanding, and experience, I don't agree with you. You know what I'll do? I'll say, let's sit down and talk. I need to hear what you have to say. But until that point, this means nothing to me. And the threats that I get from you all and the nonsense that the media puts out, it doesn't do anything but make me stronger. You take me off of Facebook, you take me off of Twitter, you take me off of any of these other platforms, you're going to see me, and I can guarantee you this, they censor me off of this stuff. They're going to see me standing out in front of every single morning show with big banners saying the same thing that I'm saying right now. They will get so sick of me standing in front of these windows with big, huge banners saying, you know, Hillary should be in jail, or communism is spreading all over the country, and I'll be at every single show every single day. I don't care if I have to spend every dollar. You censor me out of this free speech, and I will guarantee you, you will not forget this face. That's what I've gotten from this week. I want everybody else to get on board with this. Stop being afraid. I was sitting with an incredible friend of mine today down by the river, and we were having a burger. And Wally is a mentor of mine, and he's unbelievably well-read on Marxism and all these things. We're talking about all this stuff, and we weren't hiding at all what we were trying to say. There was no whispers coming out of my mouth. I was not afraid, and I will not be afraid or intimidated by people who want to say you're a white supremacist or you're a racist. Listen, I go on here every single night and tell the reality of racism. Racism, any human being can be racist because it comes from the heart. It comes from your hatred of other people that aren't like you. It's an insecure behavior and emotion to some extent of a very small person. Somebody who instead of identifying somebody they don't like and going around them and continue to achieve, they, like a narcissist, actually hate themselves and fail to understand the reality of life. It doesn't matter. Racism is not determined by the color of your skin. It's determined by the color of your heart. I'm not afraid. And I would invite every single person watching this tonight to stop being afraid. If you're an actor, you got to be careful because you'll lose your job. But if you're not acting, don't worry about it. And listen, if you're an actor and there's people out there scheming and saying, and you're afraid that if they find out you're conservative, you're going to lose your job, well, we need to work on that. And we need to go after Hollywood and all these people who are some kind of, oh, I got it. Was it a fly or a bird that just flew by me? We're going to have to go by these people. I'm uncensored, folks. We're going to have to go by these and go after these people because they are literally going against everything that being a free person is about. This one weirdo on Twitter a little while ago kept trying to come at me with all this stuff about the reality of socialism versus, this and that. And he tried to say that what I said was communist because I said the reality of this country versus Canada, where this guy was from, is that our founding fathers wanted we the people to be in charge, not a political party, not an ideology. It was we the people. We're supposed to work together and keep this country free. And he says, that sounds exactly like communism. But that's not the truth, because Freedom is what allows you, the individuality, to flourish inside of you. And that individuality that flourishes is what continues to defend and keep freedom alive. You see, communists, socialist thinkers, they're not going to get that. They don't understand that freedom ensures your individuality. And the fact that you're an individual and you commit to sustaining the freedom for everyone, that's the cycle of a free nation. Don't be afraid anymore. Don't let these people fool you. Don't, listen, there is power in numbers. If you try to do this on your own, it's not going to work. If you're a passionate person, your time would be better spent getting and recruiting people to sit down with you once a month, once a week, every night, whatever, breaking bread together, having dialogue and discussing things. Why protest? Why go out there and do this nonsense when you could be going out and literally planting seeds and cultivating your own crop of patriots and developing unity, developing dialogue, and then connecting with other groups? You want to see a change in this world. Start developing groups of people that are unified and connecting with other people who are unified. And before long, what you will see, you don't need some kind of weirdo like George Soros. You don't need to have some group that goes out and protests all the time like Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all these groups. What you need is freedom-loving, free-born people that care about freedom, that love each other and want the best for everyone, and they are willing to get to know and stand with each other. I said this yesterday on the radio. What's going on down in Texas right now, when the water subsides and everything goes away and people are getting back to normal, what is happening down there right now where people come together and stand together and help each other, they're not looking to get rich, they're not looking to get on TV. If the same people, all these people that work together, black and white, male, female, gay, straight, transgender, I don't care, lift up your skirt and come on out there and get together, and we all sit down and embrace one another as American freeborn patriots, no one will stand against us. No one. Spend your time wisely here, folks. I don't care. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you're like me and you never go to the doctor, and you could be sick, but you don't care because I don't go to the doctor. Make every second count. Make every second count. Raise disciplined kids so they can grow up to be disciplined adults. Be a disciplined adult. Be a mentor. Show up to teach people. If you're young, show up to learn. And stand together. It's really that easy. But if you don't do this together, we're going to fall. I talk to the same people I talked to last year on a daily basis when I say, last year I was like, I don't know about this country. Year before that I was saying, I don't know about this country. This year, all those people that I talked to are now saying, I don't know about this country. I don't know. I don't know if we can survive this. And I'm saying we have one chance, and that's if we unify. That's it. That's the only chance we have. That's the only chance we have. So I think what we'll do here is, I hope this doesn't get me kicked off of here tonight. Whatever, if it does, it does. I want to play the national anthem, and I want to play, the best version of the national anthem I think I've ever heard. There's a couple that I've heard. There's two in particular. One is where they had the eagle, and they have a Navy veteran singing it. Let me look up this other version of it. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to talk about this in a second. 2 days ago, today's Friday, on Wednesday, this book came out for pre-order. The book has already been through edits. You guys, I took you along for the ride on how that works. And every night I was diligently writing, and it was a long process, folks. But we got it done, and it debuted Wednesday. I pushed this as hard as I could on Will Cow's show. I pushed it as hard as I could on Hannity's show. I pushed it as hard as I could here. And you all responded. We've sold over 1,000 books so far, and the book debuted at number 5 on the bestseller list on Amazon. Hasn't even been printed yet. How is that possible? Because of you all. Because the patriots that tune into this show, it's now down, this number fluctuates, but it debuted at right around number 5, just behind Hillary Clinton's book. I was watching it last night because it fluctuates by the hour. It went down. I was number 9. Hillary's book was number 7. She went to number 8. I was still at number 9. Or no, I was at number 11. I was like, I'm catching her, you know. But then today it went down to 29. It went back up to 17. It's now at 23. I'm driven, folks. So these numbers drive me crazy watching this. But the point is, this is not usual. What we have done, and I say we, I wrote the book. You all have helped me sell the book already. And what we're doing is, and I want you to believe me when I tell you this, you are helping me develop a platform. If this book sells tremendously, which I hope it does, and it continues to rise, right now it's number 1 in 3 different categories on Amazon. Number 1 bestseller in 3 categories on Amazon. Overall, it's number 17. It debuted at number 5 overall, but now it's at number 23, I believe, last time I checked. Those numbers fluctuate, but none of this would be possible if it wasn't for the people that tune into this show and the people that believe in those who serve this country. And those of you that understand that what I'm trying to do is give you a product that everybody should have so they can empower themselves. And again, so that you can learn to target yourself. I'm literally teaching you folks how to build a target package. It's going to be laid out in there. Also, you're going to learn how an attacker thinks. You're going to learn what an attack actually is. You're going to learn how to build an attack package. You're going to learn how to develop your defenses, all based on that understanding and the research that you do when you break your life up into sectors. And that's all laid out along with different case studies of failures by the government and failure by law enforcement and failures by people that didn't have this knowledge, should have had this knowledge, but didn't. And then also a few of my friends that I gave this knowledge to, and then they went on their vacations, and spectacular things happened when they got confronted by big problems. You ultimately, if you read this book and you apply the techniques that I give you in there, you will change your life, and you will become more aware, not just of how to defend yourself, but of everything around you. Awareness in itself is like a crack in a dam. Or those of you who watched Game of Thrones last week, I don't want to blow it for anybody, but when that dragon got a hold of that freaking the Great Wall, you see what happens. Once awareness starts, the wall or the dam just falls. And so that's what this book is going to do. It's going to break down the walls of unawareness so that you can see the world for the way it is. Please help me continue to sell this book. You should be telling everyone about it. It's not expensive. In fact, Barnes & Noble and Amazon have already started to discount a little bit. Don't forget, it's sold on Barnes & Noble. If you don't like Amazon for whatever reason, you don't agree with their politics, you can go to Barnes & Noble and buy it. I'm going to work on a tour somehow. I'm going to work on signed books somehow. I got to figure all this stuff out. And hopefully I can get some of the media interested in doing some type of program on this book. But here's what I need from you all right now. Keep pushing this out. Keep doing your duty to get this book sold, because ultimately all it's going to do is help with this, what I've done, and what I was trying to tell you earlier. Don't go out and necessarily protest. Do what I'm doing. Develop some type of unity seed. This whole show that I do every night is what we're doing to create unity and to get people together. This book is going to help this grow, and it's going to empower people. It's going to make people aware, and the more aware they are, they're going to look around, they're going to be like, holy mackerel, I've been snowed by these politicians. You can't just be aware in one place and not be aware in another. Once you're aware, things just start to open up, and that's what's going to happen. So continue to help me sell this book. Now, what I want to do is we're going to go to the Truth Zone, and we're going to do our Friday night toast. So if you don't have a tasty beverage, go right now and get it while I look this up. There it is. Okay. All right. I'm not going to put the video up or nothing. We're just going to go to the Truth Zone, and we're going to play the national anthem and listen to that, and then we are going to drink our tasty beverage, and we're going to toast to America and to freedom and to being freeborn. We're not toasting to Canada. Sorry, Canada. We're not toasting to our allies overseas. Tonight, we're toasting to the United States of America. And we're going to toast to all those that continue to fight for freedom. We're going to toast and hope that the people that think that communism is a good idea comes back and they see reality. Hopefully God strikes them with some type of reality. America. Yes, and to Houston. Houston's part of America. What we're seeing in Houston right now is America. Let's go to the Truth Zone. It's been a long week, folks.
And now for today's national anthem, Nashville recording artist Mountain Heart.
Mountain Heart, folks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Raise them high.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the
Ladies today's fans, Nashville recording artist Mountain Heart.
The truth has arrived. I'm Jonathan Gillum. I'll see you Tuesday. Old Rico's asleep over there. Don't be afraid. Stand up to those that want to do harm to this country. Flee from hate. And if you're going to drink, my friends, drink with me. I'll see you next time. My mom says Samaritan's Purse is a good charity, a good, honest, and dedicated charity. That's Samaritan's Purse. And they were stocked up with their trucks for Harvey. So give to Samaritan's Purse. And don't forget about our GoFundMe page. I don't want that to fall by the side, especially if I go on the road to Houston in the next couple of weeks.
Hey, did you end the show already?
Yeah, I ended the show.
Well, that's not fair. I haven't been in the news lately. Nobody's been saying Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
That's because nobody cares about you, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
I care. This is Dennis Kucinich. I care. Listen, she may be taller than me, but I care.
I thought I told you to go away, Dennis Kucinich.
I love you.
I don't care.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you and me need to have babies.
No! Go away from me, little man, or I will melt your face with the Debbie Wasserman stare. I need my computer back.